Hello guys, it's your boy Nattle. So today I've decided to make a rogue video for Nighthold, right? I've been holding off this video for a while. I wanted to get some experience in Nighthold first, which I feel that I've now got. I killed my first mythic boss yesterday, so I'm very pleased with that. I'm still under geared from quitting the game and then coming back, but we're getting back there, right? So I have some tips and tricks that I wanted to share with you guys that I found out since I started playing again. I'm gonna go over trinkets, I'm gonna go over rotation, I'm gonna go over like different tips and tricks for the playstyle and whatever, like the usual video basically, but I'll include legendary priority and trinkets basically, and some other small things. Alright, so that's what will be in the video. If you want a specific part, you can find it down below. I will put timestamps there so you can just click it and find your part directly, what you're interested in. Otherwise, I hope you really enjoyed the video, guys. Okay, so I want to go over why I am an orc. It is because of the racial blood fury. It works very well with Vendetta. I was blood elf before for Arcane Torrent, but now that we have vigor, I don't feel that Arcane Torrent is as strong anymore. We don't really need it, in my opinion. And the base 1% crit that you get from blood elf isn't that good, because obviously we stack mastery, we don't care that much about crit. It's still a really good race, like it still seems about the same as Orc, but I would say Orc is a little bit better because of Blood Fury. You can use that with Vendetta and such. But I think that those two are the best ones. Then I was Troll also for like I wanted to try Berserking with Kingsbane, see how that worked. It didn't really work out that well for me, so I ended up going Orc. But honestly, all the races are pretty close right now, so you wouldn't want to worry too much about any of that. Just play whatever race you feel like. If you want to truly maximize and go for the max DPS, pick Blood Elf or Orc. Master Poisoner does is it increases the damage done by your poisons by 30% and their non-damaging effects by 20%. That means it synergizes really well with Agonizing Poison, which is a non-damaging effect, and also it synergizes really well with your Mastery. Your Mastery, if you read it, it's basically the same thing as Master Poisoner. So Master Poisoner and your Mastery works really well together. So stacking Mastery is now the way to go. I'll go over that in the stat priority later. But Master Poisoner is really the go-to choice in this tier. Even if you have low mastery, it's still the go-to choice because it synergizes so well with Agonizing Poison, and there's really no other way to play Rogue right now than to stack mastery and play Master Poisoner. So that's the first tier. The second tier we have Night Stalker, Subterfuge, Shadow Focus. Shadow Focus we've never used. Subterfuge, you can use it sometimes in dungeons if you feel like it. I don't like it because I like to have Night Stalker for the bosses. But some people like to use it to garrote multiple enemies. This is also the go-to talent if you have the legendary shoulders, because this basically makes it so you have 3 seconds longer in the effect of the shoulders, but I'll talk about that later in the legendary section. So Night Stalker is the way to go. You use this to vanish Rupture, like it basically increases the damage you do out of stealth, so you use vanish Rupture most of the time. If you have Forset like me, you can start using vanish Envenom and see if that works for you. If you have really high mastery like me and you have the Forset, then maybe vanish Envenom is a good choice for you, because it does, like for me, it on average it hits about 2 million when it crits. So that's pretty crazy to have in your opener, like a 2 million Envenom just like that. It's pretty nice to have. So that's the way you wanna approach the level 30 tier. The level 45 tier, we used to use Deeper Stratagem. We've never used Anticipation. Now we use Vigor. Vigor gives you more energy and more energy regen. This makes your opener stronger and it makes your overall playstyle stronger. I think it synergizes better with Master Poisoner than Deeper Stratagem would have done, and it's just the best talent in this tier right now for the playstyle of the Rogue currently. So Vigor and Master Poisoner is the way to go. I said this in my PTR video way back, I knew this was gonna be the case. But either way, moving on, level 60 tier we have Leeching Poison, Elusiveness and Sheet Death. I pick Sheet Death because there's a lot of stuff that one-shot you in Nighthold. I don't like to get one-shotted. Sometimes I have bad movement. Sheet Death saves me sometimes. You can also pick Elusiveness if you know there's damage coming, you want to avoid it. There are certain fights you want to pick elusiveness and certain fights you want to pick sheet death, but it's not really important. I mean, you can figure that out for yourselves, guys. Level 75, Thuggy, Prey of the Weak, Internal Bleeding. Prey of the Weak and Internal Bleeding, they work well with stuns. If you can stun the target on bosses and stuff like that, you can't stun the target, so I pick Thuggy. Thuggy is really nice because if you garrote something that's about to die, you get your garrote cooldown reset, so you don't have to like wait 12 seconds for another garrote or something like this. Yeah, that's the most viable choice here for raiding. Then we have level 90, Agonizing Poison, Alacrity, Exsanguinate. We used to use Exsanguinate, but Agonizing Poison is just so good now with all the mastery that we have and playing Master Poisoner. So it's the way to go for single target for sure. And in dungeons and on bosses where you can't really stay on the boss and stuff like that, basically bosses you would have used Exsanguinate before, now we use Alacrity. Alacrity makes it so you get more haste. More haste equals more abilities, more energy. It's just really good for you. So Alacrity is the way to go for bosses that you don't use Agonizing Poison on, like first boss in Nighthold, Botanist, things like this. Then last tier you have Venom Rush, Marked for Death, Death from Above. I used Venom Rush for pretty much everything. Then I used Death from Above for fights when there's a lot of AoE or dungeons when there's a lot of AoE. We have to differentiate between cleave and AoE here. Like AoE is a lot of small adds that don't really have that much HP. It's not really worth rupturing them. You just want to hit all of them. So that's when you want to use Death from Above. But if there's cleave, if there's like 4 mobs or 3 mobs that you want to use, then you don't want to use this talent, because this is only beneficial when there's a lot of mobs around you. Moving on to the artifact weapon, the path remains the same, which we took already. I've gone over this in numerous videos, but I'll go over it again in case someone is new to the channel. So Kingsbane, Assassin's Blades, Toxic Blades, Urge to Kill, Master Assassin, Gushing Wounds, Blood of the Assassinated. Then you go up here, you go down to Poison Knives, Surge of Toxins. This is really important now that we play a mastery build. Like our whole build basically revolves around Surge of Toxins, so it's really important you go this path. Then you go Serrated Edge and From the Shadows. After this, you will go down here and go to Master Alchemist and Bag of Tricks. Then you will go down from Toxic Blades to Balanced Blades. After this, you can pick either Shadow Swiftness, Fade into Shadows, or Shadow Walker. It doesn't really matter which one you take. They're all like they're not damaging abilities, so it doesn't matter which one you take. After that, start stacking the Slayer's position. As you can see, I'm quite behind, but we'll get there eventually. So, for the relics, we've been using Vendetta relics for the longest time, right? I made a video about that way back. So, now it has changed a little bit if you have the Boots and Convergence of Fate. If you have Boots and Convergence of Fate, like the Legendary Boots and Convergence of Fate, then you will use 2 Vendetta relics and 1 other relic. The other relic can be either a Envenom relic, preferably, but it can also be a Rupture relic or a Gushing Wound relic, a Rupture crit, and any type of relic really that is viable, right? You can even pick the Master Alchemist, I think. Yeah, the Master Alchemist relic. But the Envenom one is the strongest because Envenom is our hardest hitting ability because of our mastery and our talent choices. So if you do have the Legendary Boots and Convergence of Fate, you can pick 1 other relic than 2 Vendetta relics. So you have 2 Vendetta relics and 1 other relic. If you do not have the Boots and Convergence of Fate, then I would suggest picking 3 Vendetta relics. Next up we have the stat priority. As you can see, it's quite obvious I'm stacking mastery. I've already said in the talent section that we should be stacking mastery because it synergizes so well with all our abilities and our whole playstyle and everything, so we really want to stack mastery. And because we play with vigor, crit cap is not as important anymore because we have more energy to spend, we have more energy to make up for those low combo point mutilates. So crit is still our second best stat, but mastery is the way to go. Like, you want as much mastery as you possibly can, and then you want to follow that up with crit. So it goes mastery, crit, versatility, haste. And then agility is above all of that. So you want as much agility and mastery as you can, and then you want to fill up the rest with crit and maybe some versatility if you have to, but you prefer mastery, crit, and high agility. So that's the stat priority. We don't have a crit cap anymore, and you want to stack mastery. So let's talk about trinkets. We have Convergence of Fate and Draught of Souls. These are the best trinkets. You want to have these two together, because Draught of Souls, I mean, it might not look that good because it has haste on it, but the effect is just so good. You can use it with Vendetta, you can use it with the Legendary Shoulders, it's just really good for you. Then Convergence of Fates lines up your Vendetta with Kingsbane if you have the boots, and then you can sacrifice one relic, and it's just a really good trinket because of that. And it has agility as the main stat. It's a really nice trinket. The other trinkets available aren't that good. I mean, the Night Blooming Frond, it looks really good in simulations, but it's actually not that good. I tried it out for a while. It does really well some fights and really poorly some other fights. So I definitely wouldn't recommend this trinket. I mean, if you don't have anything else, then yeah. But for example, I wouldn't replace my urn with this one, with an 890 heroic front. I wouldn't replace my urn. Same thing goes for the entwined elemental foci, which is basically a washed up memento. It has a longer effect, but the proc chance is much lower, so I wouldn't say it's as good. The Ethereal Urn is better if they're equal item level. Of course, if you get the Mythic Elemental Foci and you have like 875 trinkets, then yeah, it's gonna be better probably, you know, because of the item level. Then you have the Arcane Golem Digit as well. This one seems alright. I think I would rather take this one over the Foci, but I'm not sure. I haven't tested this one out. I haven't really looked into it much. Basically, you just want to aim for Convergence of Fates and Draught of Souls. And that's the two trinkets you want. If you don't have those two, work on getting those two. I'm gonna go over the legendaries. First off, we have the Mantle of the Master Assassin. It's the new shoulder legendary for Assassination rogues. I didn't think it would be that good, but it turns out it's really powerful. Basically, you pick Subterfuge in the second tier with this, and you will have 9 seconds of 100% crit, and then when you vanish in your opener, you will have another 9 seconds, so that's 18 seconds of 100% crit in your opener. It is absolutely ridiculous. So this is the legendary you want to get, like you want to aim for this one, and then you want to play with the boots if you have Convergence of Fates. If you do not have Convergence of Fates, then you want to pick Soldic Family Training Shackles, the bracers. But in the ideal world, you want to have Mantle of the Master Assassin, Duskwalker Foot Pads, and Convergence of Fates. Well, after this, if you have if you go below these three, then you have Insignia of Ravenhold and Kil'jaeden's Burning Wish. I would say these two are about the same. The drawback of Kil'jaeden's Burning Wish is that it takes up a trinket slot, so you can't get the Draught of Souls or Convergence of Fates. I would probably aim for Convergence of Fates together with Kil'jaeden's. If I had to pick either Convergence or Draught, I would pick Kil'jaeden. I would pick Kil'jaeden and Convergence is what I'm trying to say. And then Insignia of Ravenhold is pretty good. I mean, it's not as good as the other three, they're like the top three. So it's not the top tier, it's like high mid tier, if you will. Then low mid tier, we have Synidaria the Symbiote and the Dreadlord's Deceit. The Dreadlord's Deceit is very situational, so I would say Synidaria is a little bit better because it's a little bit better than the back in damage output. Then we have the low tier, we have Pridas, Will of Valera, and Sephuz Secret. So I would say Pridas is the best out of these three because of the stat buff that it got. Like, it has higher stats than all the other items, like higher crit haste mastery. Then after that I would pick Will of Valera because it gives agility. Other than that, it's pretty shit stats and not that good. And then lastly we have Sephuz Secret, which is absolutely terrible. Like, I'm gonna be honest, it's horrible. So if you've got the full secret, I feel sorry for you. Anyway, that's the Legendaries. You want to have Mantle of the Master Assassin together with Duskwalker Footpads and Convergence of Fates. That's the best Legendaries. Alright guys, now I'm gonna go over the rotation. So I'll start with the opener. This is the opener if you use Vanish Envenom, which I suggest you do if you have the 4-set. The 4-set, there we go. So this opener I use when I have the 4-set, so I'll show you how it is. So you start with Garrote into Envenom, Mutilate, Rupture, Mutilate, Kingsbane, Vendetta, Mutilate, Envenom, Mutilate, Mutilate, Vanish Envenom, and there we go. Then you want to refresh your Rupture and refresh your Garrote, and that's basically the opener. So the reason I do this opener this way is because first off, I open with Garrote, obviously out of stealth, like anyone should do. Then my second global is Envenom. I use this to get the poison application chance from Envenom, to get my 5 stacks of agonizing poison up on the target as soon as possible. After this, I want to secure my energy regen, so after I've done these 2 steps, I will do Mutilate into Rupture. That is to get the energy from Venomous Wounds together with Venom Rush. After I've done this, and I have a Vendetta and I have a Rupture rolling on the target, I will do Mutilate, Kingsbane. Then I will have 0 energy left after these 2. So then I will pop my Vendetta, and I will follow that up instantly with an Envenom. With a 5 combo point Envenom or whatever. Yeah, like I want to make a 5 combo point Envenom here. It's important to get the 5 combo point Envenom to get the Surge of Toxins, 10% on the target. Because this is important before you do your Vanish Envenom. Because you want to Vanish Envenom on a target that has full Surge of Toxins. So that's why I do these 2 together. Sometimes after the Vendetta you have to do another Mutilate to get the 5 combo points, and that's okay. Like that's what you have to do. So then you do your 5 combo point Envenom, and then after that you will Vanish Envenom. And then after that somewhere you need to refresh your Rupture and Garrote probably, so you need to work on doing that. You can't let them fall off, because that will result in a huge energy loss. So now we'll pretend that I do not have the 4-set. I'm going to pretend I don't have the 4-set, so I'm going to use Vanish Rupture instead of Vanish Envenom. So the opener is a little bit different here. You want to use Garrote, Envenom, Mutilate, Rupture, Mutilate, Kingsbane, Vendetta. Then you want to do Vanish Rupture, and then you want to do... So basically the thing you change here is that you do the same opener up until your Vendetta. And then your first cast after the Vendetta is not a 5 combo point Envenom, it's a 5 combo point Vanish Rupture. And that's really the only difference that you change. So instead of doing the 5 combo point Envenom right after Vendetta, you will do a 5 combo point Vanish Rupture on the target. So now I'm gonna go over how to manage Surge of Toxins. It's kind of tough to explain, so I'll write something and put it on the screen after, so you maybe can understand that if you don't understand what I'm talking about. But I'll start off pretty simple here. So Surge of Toxins, you want to keep that up as much as possible, but you want to keep it at as high as a percent as possible. That means you want to do 4 or 5 combo point Envenoms to keep it up. That's gonna be impossible to keep up over the long run, because you won't have enough energy to get 4 combo point Envenoms every time because of your low crit. Like, you're not gonna get every time you do a Mutilate. See, sometimes you get 2 combo points, sometimes you get 3, and sometimes you get 4, and etc. So what you wanna do is, during your rotation like this, see, I have 4 now, so I use an Envenom, then I have to do 2 Mutilates, I use another Envenom before it runs out, And here I will have just enough time to use one. But now I won't have enough time. So what you want to do is, obviously you have to refresh Rupture here. So I'm gonna do that first. But what you want to do here is you want to pool energy to about 100 energy. And then you want to use your Envenom, because that means you have enough energy to get another Envenom after that. So here this happens again. And here we have to wait till about 100 energy. But since Rupture is about to go out, we can actually wait until Rupture is about to be finished. And I'm gonna try now to explain really why this is. Like, this is kind of deep shit. Like, this is like... Sometimes I don't even understand my own thinking when it comes to this, because it's pretty complicated. So, why you wanna following a pool, right? Like, a pool is when you wait for energy to like come back to you, and you're not using any abilities. So, like, you're basically standing there, like auto hitting the boss or whatever. So, you will have to pool, even when you don't have a Rupture coming up, like when you don't have to refresh Rupture. But then you only pool to 100 energy. About 100 energy, maybe 110, but I pool to about 100 energy. But when Rupture is about to fall off, you can pool longer. Because when you do Rupture on a target, it doesn't matter if you have Surge of Toxins already on the target or not. It does the same damage regardless. But if you pool and then you follow with Envenom, the target does not have Surge of Toxins, so your Envenom will not do its max potential in damage. Well, Rupture will do its max potential even without Surge of Toxins. So you see, if you pool energy and then you use Envenom, you essentially lose damage. Because it's not at the max potential. Like, if the target had Surge of Toxins, then Envenom will be its max potential. But it's not, because the target after pooling, it won't have Surge of Toxins. So that's why you want to follow the pool with a Rupture, ideally. So when you have a Rupture coming up, like it's about to run out, then you can pool longer. So I'll show you here what I mean. So we put up Rupture here. And now we're just gonna wait. So if you're in this situation, you wanna pool to 100. So here you will start doing Envenoms again. But if you have a Rupture that's about to run out, then you can pool for as long as this Rupture is up. So you just wait, and now you refresh the Rupture. So you don't use the pandemic effect, but it's essentially, it's a benefit. It benefits you to not use it. So if you're in a situation like this, we pool to 100. And there, like in a situation like that, it's about to run out. You can choose to do an Envenom before it runs out if you have Surge of Toxins. If you don't, you can start pooling right away. So here I want to pool. I can pool for as long as Rupture is still there, you know? So even if that is to 150 energy, that's what I will do. And if it's at 100, that's what I will do. So basically the Rupture at that point decides how long you're gonna pool. But if you have a Rupture that's already like full duration, and you have a Garrote that's full duration and whatever, then you can pool for as long as you need to. Like then you can pool. Then you can pool to 100. So if you're in this position that I am now, I pool to 100 energy. I don't pool longer, because pooling for longer it's too long of a downtime. The only time you wanna pool longer is if you have a Rupture that's about to run out. So now I can pool longer here. Like I can pool to like 100. Like as long as Rupture allows me to pool, I will pool. As long as you don't cap out on energy. But if you're pooling without the Rupture following, then that's not what you will do. Like then you will pool to 100. That's it. So I hope you've understood this. I will try to explain it in text and put it on the screen after for you guys to understand. But that's kind of how pooling works when it comes to Surge of Toxins. But you want to try to keep a 4-point or 8% 4-point Surge of Toxins on the target at all times. So that's what, every time you use Envenom, you want to use it on a target that's already affected by a high % Surge of Toxins to get more Envenom damage. I hope you've understood this now. If you haven't understood it, please come to my stream. I'll try to explain it to you. Write a comment, I'll try to answer it. I'll put it in text anyway, so hopefully you guys can understand it. Alright guys, that's everything for this video. I really hope you understood it, and if you have any questions, please come to my stream. I'll put it down below and ask me live. I'll answer everything. I'll always read my chat and I will try to explain it as best as I can. Other than that, I hope you enjoyed the video. Take care and see you next time.